Hey, pretentious engineer here. I know you didn't ask, but I thought I could give you a rundown of the last 48 hours because it's been just crazy and I'm exhausted. And I think it was fun, but I don't really know. So, on Monday, I was planning on going to Costco in order to pick up food for a Thanksgiving party in Japan. And our car battery was dead because the children had left the door open. And that is a huge escalation in Japan that I wasn't planning on navigating. So in the US, when your car battery goes out like that, you just ask another person to drive their car up, you set up the leads correctly, and you can jump a car battery. In Japan, they don't really do DIY things like that, and because they keep higher quality vehicles, they don't really have beaters. So it's things that they've only seen like on movies from America, but not in person. So I had gone around the neighborhood and asked people for help, and it was like no help. So then I ended up riding my like Japanese powered bicycle to a Toyota mobility store, have a very broken language conversation. And eventually we wind up in a situation where I had some kind of maintenance package associated with the used vehicle that I bought through a dealer from a person. That's another complicated string of events. And they ended up having this guy ride a bicycle to my house with a new battery, and he took my old battery out and he put a new battery in. Even though the old battery was fine, it just needed a jump. And it was like $350. And it took more hours than necessary. And the bro just rode his battery or his bike back to Toyota and was well on his way, and very confused why this idiot foreigner couldn't seem to keep his car light off so that the kids don't run the battery dry. So that's just kind of a fun learning where when you live in a different cultural context, you have to be able to see and experience the world through their eyes. And throughout the whole day, I was just battling the entitlement that someone should be willing to just drive in front of my car and jump it. And like, even in the beginning of the discussion with the dealer, like, I was like trying to ask him like, could I get a jump? And he like brought cables out to teach me how to do a jump, but couldn't do a jump. And instead, what we ended up paying for was a new battery that we didn't need. So things like that are going to happen as you're living within a different context and don't fully know the language. And you have to be very careful not to let those expectations of a simple day um, blow up your day. And then in parallel to that, it was a really heavy day with a whole bunch of other crap I had to do. Within Johnson & Johnson, I had the opportunity to present my work to the second highest level of leadership within the company. So for those of you who don't know like how big J&J is, there's like 150 operating companies and over 300,000 employees. And companies start with the CEO, and then there's an executive council of leaders, and then everyone below that based on like which operating company you work on. Well, my work's been spanning multiple operating companies in Japan of capturing unmet needs and translating those into global product innovation. And I had the opportunity to present it to like the executive council level. It took multiple days of planning and refinement, and it was exhausting. And I had all the social anxiety you could possibly imagine from that, stacked with a car problem. So I was wound pretty tight the last 2 days. And by the time it was my turn to present, all the time had evaporated. So what was supposed to be like a 5-minute presentation with Q&A turned into me only having, I think it was 46 seconds to present the intent of my work. And what's great is like I had done the preparation to continue to refine my slides and to refine my talk track. So when it became time to improvise, I was prepared. But it was just an area where like I felt inadequate and imposter syndrome like the whole entire time. And yet all I received was good feedback, but I really struggled to receive positive feedback in my work. So that's the like inner workings of Joe psychologically. So yeah, the life of a pretentious engineer in Japan has been rather interesting the last few days. And I'm absolutely exhausted and just trying to recover. And then I had stacks of like morning and evening meetings because I work across time zones. So hoping today to just regulate. I am on Twitch if anyone wants to come work out with me and ask any questions. I'll see you around.